pack of coyote. Hey!
The first video tonight comes from Truesdale TV, a UK-based stealth and wild camping channel focused on risky overnight camps in hidden roadside locations and woodland near public areas. It is October 26, 2022 in Northern Ireland, a hidden patch of woodland beside the M2 motorway and a nearby dual carriageway. The camper begins on a busy Sunday, carrying a fishing rod to appear casual. He pushes through brambles and thorn bushes, searching for a concealed spot near the motorway. Footpaths and constant traffic make it difficult to stay hidden, forcing him to balance access with visibility.
That wood there is rotten. This place didn't break on me. Okay, we're down in. Hopefully we can find somewhere down in here. Now that's the main road there. There's a footpath along there which will be an issue for us. So we are right on the side now. This is the spot I was thinking. So we're right on the side of the road here, so this could be. We'll fire the bag down and we'll get a bit of a look around. Okay, let's suss this place out. Okay, over here's obviously no good because footpath is there.
He sets up a small A-frame tarp between trees, creating a compact camp. A basic cooking and entertainment setup is arranged, but it quickly becomes clear the site isn't as hidden as expected. Light from his setup and the glow of a screen can be seen from the road. What initially felt concealed is now visibly exposed from multiple angles.
Thought that was somebody walking there. Now it's not, it's just the leaves moving there. But yeah, so I'll turn these round. I'll show you where I am. I'm thinking, I'm not sure exactly where, but I'm going to put a tent in around here somewhere. I'm going to throw up the big tarpaulin, but the road is just right there. That's the road. We jumped over the fence and came down in here, so.
Vehicles begin stopping nearby. This increases the pressure immediately. From inside the tarp, he stays still and quiet, avoiding movement that could draw attention. With people now stopping close to the area, the risk is no longer theoretical. It's immediate.
It's dark now, and I planned to leave the cook until later on, but I didn't think things through properly because this light is going to give me away. Because if we just turn around, so you can see just there, see that break in the trees, that is like, you know, people walk across that and they're bound to see this light. Now what do? Do I lower the tarp down, or do I just say frigate, hammer on? Decisions. We'll go and investigate. Let's do that. I just want to see how noticeable my camp is from up there. Quite noticeable. Let's go deeper up in to where the people walking would be. Because they've got the height advantage, they'll be looking down on us. We'll go as far up as we can.
By morning, he inspects the surroundings, Small black cameras are discovered attached to trees, indicating the area is being monitored. The implication is clear. The location wasn't just exposed, it was already under observation. He packs up quickly and leaves via the motorway. This camp stands out because of how quickly control is lost. What begins as a hidden setup becomes a situation where visibility, proximity to the public, and surveillance all overlap. The discovery of cameras reinforces that some locations aren't just risky, they're actively monitored. And in environments like this, concealment isn't always enough, especially when the space you're using isn't as isolated as it seems. Before we move on, if you're enjoying the video so far, leaving a like really helps. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. We recently passed 50,000 subscribers, and that's entirely because of you. The next target is 100,000 before the end of the year. Ambitious, but worth aiming for. There's a hidden word somewhere in this video. See if you can spot it. Now, let's continue. The next horrifying video comes from Pithy Platypus Outdoors, a UK-based adventure and survival channel focused on extreme solo camping and backcountry hiking, known for immersive first-person footage and real-time reactions to harsh conditions. It is February 22nd, 2026, in remote, heavily forested mountains, Wyoming, United States. The adventurer begins a solo winter hike, carrying a heavy pack through wet, snow-covered forest. The terrain is steep and unstable, with slippery branches and dense undergrowth, slowing progress. Carrying significant weight in these conditions increases fatigue quickly, especially with limited rest. He's aware of predators in the area, but the immediate challenge is movement, maintaining balance and conserving energy before nightfall.
All these branches out of here. Use this log that's already leaning here. This one. Cover this in some way or fashion with all these other logs that are just everywhere. It is getting chilly. I only have about 40 minutes before it's like pitch black. Ah! Holy crap. Does not make it easy that I am on such a crazy incline. Like, holy crap. I don't know how well this is gonna show up in video, but it is steep. Maybe, if I can get a brace in the middle here, I won't have to use such a long piece.
On a steep incline, he begins constructing a makeshift shelter. The ground is soaked, forcing him to build upward, using logs and branches to create separation from the wet surface. With daylight fading, speed becomes a factor. He has to balance structure, insulation, and time. In conditions like this, shelter isn't just comfort. It's essential for maintaining body heat overnight.
So the wolf down there. Sounds like it's moving away. It's basically over there, getting branches and thatch.
Starting a fire proves difficult. Wet materials reduce ignition chances, forcing repeated attempts. While gathering thatch and wood, he hears movement in the surrounding forest, followed by distinct animal sounds. He responds by making noise and asserting presence. In wilderness environments, that behavior is often used to avoid surprise encounters rather than provoke them.
Flowers. I fell asleep an hour or so, woke up, fire totally gone out, and I heard a pack of coyotes or something like that, a few hundred feet that way. Well, here's a little update. I've been watching our videos for about 2 hours now. Honestly, just feels like I'm playing a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I'm just like waiting for something to just pop in one of these holes and just skadoosh. This is more like what it looks like in my eyes. So, way darker. A little update. It's raining, so that's awesome. Something just howled. Really right over there. Bro. I'm really sorry I haven't gotten any of the sounds on video. I think I maybe got one. Like, I don't know. I'm not playing this up or anything. I genuinely hate this right now. I would rather just be home. Just checked the weather, and it says it's supposed to rain for the entire day. Yesterday, it literally said that there was no rain or anything forecasted for the next 3 days. Back at you with another fun update. It's 4 a.m. right now. Just got done with a pretty cool phone call with Matthew. And
basically, I had a cougar like 3 feet away from me on the road up in Wyoming, and it was like in front of my face and kind of wanting.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I didn't shoot Jeff, and that's my point. I didn't have ear protection and then, and I didn't not shoot him because I didn't have ear protection. It was a choice, but it made the choice a lot easier. Probably like for me, probably like a solid 10 minutes. I couldn't really hear anything.
Oh my god, what the
Like not nothing anything, but like nothing substantial. Like I could hear like sound.
I was thinking like 30 seconds.
Animal sounds continue nearby, likely movement through the same terrain rather than direct approach. But without visibility, it's difficult to confirm distance or direction. He remains mostly stationary, conserving energy and avoiding unnecessary movement. From his position on the ridge, he continues monitoring the surroundings. The combination of steep terrain, low visibility, and ongoing wildlife activity keeps him alert. With limited options to relocate safely at night, staying in place becomes the most controlled choice. This experience is driven by sustained pressure rather than a single moment. Wet conditions, failing fire, fatigue, and surrounding wildlife all overlap. Each one manageable on its own, but more difficult combined. Nothing directly escalates, but the margin for error remains low throughout. By morning, he exits safely, but the night reinforces a core reality of backcountry survival. It's not one event that creates danger. It's how multiple conditions build at the same time. The next chilling video comes from Encounters with People, a UK-based exploration channel documenting solo and small group trips into remote forests, focusing on real-time reactions and unexplained moments. It is July 12, 2025, in a remote Riverside forest, United Kingdom.
But it's actually been friendly, I guess, in a way, right? Because it has not even acknowledged me, basically ignored me the whole time. I've seen it once or twice, at least I think I have. I'm also not sure if I'm just like hallucinating. I've drank so much water from this stream.
The camper arrives at a remote riverside location and begins setting up for the night. They gather firewood, position a large log, and take in the surroundings. Open river on one side, dense woodland on the other. As darkness settles, visibility drops quickly under the canopy. Across the river, shadows and movement begin to stand out. In low light, contrast between open water and tree lines can make distant shapes appear more defined than they are. The camper notes fatigue and mental strain, which can affect perception, especially in isolated environments.
Dark. I got myself set up for tonight. I got that massive log that I hauled down here. That thing is, I hope nothing moves. I mean, it can only go into the stream, but that should burn all night, which will be awesome because I need to sleep. Last night, things were keeping me up because of all the noises, all the stuff I was seeing. And I kept hearing, or the fire. I had to keep on screwing with the fire because I couldn't find any big wood.
The camper attempts to get a better view. They move across wet ground and unstable rocks, balancing between maintaining the fire and observing the area. The terrain limits safe movement, especially at night. The river acts as a barrier, but also prevents closer inspection.
Dude, if I slip, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna get soaked. I didn't put my flip-flops on, my little strap. That's a mistake. I put these jammies on tonight because last night I was freezing. And all I did was have my red shorts on all night, but those are wet and they're hanging up.
The main log fails to sustain the fire. Light drops significantly, reducing visibility even further. With less light, reliance shifts entirely to sound and limited outlines. Cold, fatigue, and continuous noise from the forest increase the psychological pressure.
Well, the fire is completely out.
By morning, the environment returns to normal. In daylight, the area appears calm and open, with no clear signs of what was seen or heard during the night. This experience is driven by uncertainty rather than confirmation. There are no clear visuals, only distant movement, sound, and changing light conditions. Fatigue, darkness, and isolation all play a role in how the environment is perceived. Each moment remains explainable on its own, but together, they create a consistent sense of being observed. And in remote environments like this, where visibility is limited, that uncertainty is often what lingers the longest. The next shocking video of the night comes from Campion, a camping-focused channel known for silent, ASMR-style outdoor videos built around real-time visuals and natural sound. It is November 7th, 2025, at a remote winter campsite, United States. The camper is inside a heated tent during a winter setup. The environment is controlled, heater running, lighting in place, and equipment arranged within a confined space. In cold conditions, keeping heat contained is essential, but it also means everything operates in close proximity. As temperatures drop, he prepares to refill the kerosene heater while managing lighting and power inside the tent. He pours fuel into the heater while inside the enclosed space. At the same time, a light loses power and is connected to a power bank nearby. Multiple systems, fuel, heat, and electrical, are now active within a small area. In setups like this, proximity becomes the main factor. Each element on its own is manageable, but together, they increase overall risk. Without warning, the power bank fails. A sudden burst occurs, followed by ignition inside the tent. With flammable materials and limited ventilation, the fire spreads quickly across nearby surfaces. The situation shifts instantly, from controlled environment to active emergency. The camper reacts immediately. Smoke and flames move through the tent as he works to contain the fire. Visibility drops, and space is limited, making movement more difficult. Despite the conditions, he manages to bring the situation under control before it spreads further. This moment stands out because of how quickly it escalates. What begins as a routine setup, heat, lighting, and power, becomes a high-risk situation within seconds. The confined space plays a major role. With limited distance between equipment, small failures can spread rapidly. The fire is contained, but the margin for error is extremely small, and it highlights a key reality of camping in enclosed environments. Control can be lost very quickly when multiple systems are operating close together. Before we get into the next clip, around 70% of people watching aren't subscribed. We're working toward 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you're enjoying the video, hitting subscribe really does help. All right, let's get back to it. The last video of the night comes from Exploring with Bear, a US-based channel following solo wilderness camps in remote forests. The content focuses on real-time experiences, wildlife awareness, and unexplained activity captured during overnight stays. It is February 25th, 2026, in a remote woodland, United States. Bear sets up a winter camp in a location he has visited before. He builds a fire, prepares coffee, and places food nearby as part of his routine. Early on, subtle sounds begin: twig snaps, distant bangs, and movement through the trees. In dense woodland, small sounds can travel unpredictably, but the repetition begins to stand out against the otherwise quiet environment.
Just heard, sounded like a twig snap. Like something stepping on a twig.
As he moves around camp, the sounds continue. Footsteps, knocks, and occasional whistling are heard at varying distances. He also notices reflective eyes in the darkness. In low light, animal eyes can reflect strongly, but without a clear outline. It's difficult to determine what's actually present or how far away it is. The consistency of the sounds suggests ongoing movement through the area, rather than a single pass-through. He investigates further, noting tracks and disturbed ground. The environment feels active. Movement continues near the tent, while visibility drops with the temperature and fading light. At this stage, the uncertainty becomes the main factor. Without clear visuals, he relies on sound and partial observation to assess what's nearby.
Man. Oh man. It's so cold. My hands are froze. Okay, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna stay warm. I know. Okay. It is getting so much colder out. I had the, I closed down. That's somebody walking. Hello? Oh! 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 Dang it. Hold on. Hold on.
A large impact occurs just outside the tent. Something strikes the ground with force, causing a sudden reaction. In darkness, without visual confirmation, the size and source can't be clearly identified, but the impact is enough to shift the situation from observation to immediate concern.
Okay. All right. All right, so I'm down the road quite a bit. Juices are gone. I should have known. I don't think nothing like that's happened for a long time though. Probably over a year. That was insane. That was a tree. That was like a whole freaking tree thrown right in front of the tent.
Bear decides to leave. He exits quickly, taking only essential gear and moving toward his vehicle. In remote environments, creating distance becomes the safest option when control is lost. The decision is reactive, but controlled, prioritizing safety over staying. From a safer distance, he reflects on what happened. The combination of sound, movement, and proximity leaves him unsettled. Without clear visual confirmation, the experience remains unresolved, but difficult to ignore. This encounter builds through progression. What starts as distant, explainable sounds gradually moves closer, reducing space, increasing pressure, and limiting options. There's no single confirmed moment, but the accumulation of movement, sound, and proximity changes the situation. By the end, the decision to leave isn't based on what's seen, but on how close it feels. And in environments like this, that shift in distance is often what matters most. We appreciate you for watching. If these creepy encounters gave you chills, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. There's always another mystery waiting just around the corner.